Hello, and welcome back to My Dad's a Lawyer, podcast about life, law, and other stuff. I'm Noah Mittman, son and a lawyer.
And I'm Brian Mittman, dad and a lawyer. Good morning, Noah.
Good morning. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. We haven't recorded in a little bit. All the holiday festivities going on.
It has been a lot with the holiday parties. I have about 7 holiday parties in this 2 week span, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, well, congratulations. That's what things were like pre-pandemic, where it seemed that you had to choose which of the 3 events a night you had to go to.
Right, right. No, luckily I don't have any conflicts, but it's just a lot. And then on top of that, I went to the Rangers game last week, so I had 4 nights out last week.
I'm not gonna say, oh, poor you. I mean, I would have loved to have gone to the Rangers game, but I
Yeah,
couldn't that night.
of course, of course. So,
Excellent.
and we had the Disability Guys holiday party this week as well, which was very cool at a brewery in White Plains.
Yes, it's nice to give to local businesses. Mike over at the Wolf and Warrior was pretty awesome. We not just had a party there, we got a tour of the brew pub, the brewery downstairs, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And we wore some ugly sweaters. I did not win, even though my face was on my sweater. I guess I'm not that ugly.
There were some good sweaters.
And some good karaoke, too.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Excellent. So, what else is up?
Not much. I think we should dive into that first topic we had because last time we were talking about the Daniel Penny trial.
Well, well, before we
Okay.
get there, I did have kind of an old guy question to
Oh,
ask you.
sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so now that you've experienced quite the array of holiday parties, what is the young guy's opinion on what you should be wearing to holiday business parties?
So it really depends on the type of party and what they're doing. So obviously your party, it was an ugly sweater party. You know, you come in jeans with an ugly sweater, khakis, ugly sweater, something like that. My office party is a lunch, so I'll probably wear, a button down with a jacket and possibly jeans or something. Nothing too crazy. This past Friday, we had a party for a doctor at basically a wedding venue. So I thought it was appropriate to wear a full suit and tie, but there were people there with just, button downs and jackets. I feel like nowadays a button down and a jacket is appropriate because no one
Yeah,
really wants to wear a tie to these events.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I couldn't go to that party with you. I went to one in the city, which was actually at a club, and it was a 20th anniversary for a law firm, and they probably had 300 people there, so it was a nice sized party. And yeah, I was like, okay. I put on a nice suit and a tie, got down there. When I checked in, I had to get a wrist bracelet. I was like, okay. And I go in, and I think I was one of maybe a dozen people that were wearing a tie. I didn't look out of place or anything, but like even the two senior partners who own the firm were not even just button downs. One was a button down and jacket. The other guy was just like a button down and like a cowboy belt and big leather necklace and a leather like. And I was like looking around, and the ladies were all dressed up to the nines, but
Yeah.
the guys, it was all no ties, just all stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I ended up taking my tie off Friday night. Just be too much. And once I saw a lot of people without ties, I was like, all right, it's my time to take the tie off. But you could never go wrong wearing a tie. You could always take it
Yeah.
off. Better to have a tie and not need it than need a tie and not have it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad the young folks there understand that. So well done.
I was taught well.
Yes, you were. You were. Okay, so let's kind of dive into it. So the topic I know you wanted to get into was the whole Daniel Penny
Right.
uh, subway incident trial and what was going on. So take it away.
All right. So last time we spoke, the trial had just began. I believe the two main charges were second degree manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. So as some of the viewers know, at the end of a trial, like we discussed with my trial, even though mine was civil, this was criminal, the jurors get together and they come to a decision on the charges. Now, the criminal jury is 12 people and it has to be a unanimous jury where everybody is in agreement with the charges and what they're going to convict or acquit the defendant of. So for Daniel Penny, when they got to the second degree manslaughter charge, which in New York, I have it here, which in New York is a felony charge where someone recklessly causes the death of another person. So he put someone in a chokehold and they're alleging that he caused their death. The jury was deadlocked on this charge, meaning the jury couldn't come to unanimous decision, meaning some people were in favor of dismissing the charge, some people were in favor of convicting him of the charge. So, in order for the trial to go forward, the prosecution dropped that charge to deliberate against about the lesser charge.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting when I first heard that because there was this greater charge, and it basically seemed to say, hey, we can't decide on this, and it could potentially be what's known as a hung jury. And the prosecution made a very interesting move. They said, let's just drop those charges and let's force them to deliberate on the other charge. Because if they were going to convict the guy of these greater charges,
Right.
it should be easy to convict him of lesser charges. And it took them 5 days of deliberation to get to that point where they were kind of stuck. And interestingly enough, the judge allowed the charge to be dropped, which made it like it never existed, and then decided to bring the jury back on Monday to talk about the lesser criminal charge. So, talk about that.
So the lesser criminal charge was criminally negligent homicide, which means you kill someone while you're being negligent or criminally negligent. So in this case, they were alleging that, basically he assaulted someone, put him in a chokehold. That was, negligent, criminally negligent on his part, and then it caused the death of somebody.
So
So
I just want to because I looked this up because it really bothered me because there's negligence, which would be a civil understanding, and we'll talk about that because he could still be liable under a civil lawsuit. But they define criminally negligent homicide in New York as it occurs when someone causes the death of another person through actions that they, the person who caused it, failed to perceive as having a substantial and unjustifiable risk of death. Right? So that was the statute that I believe that they brought it
right,
under the New York penal law. And it basically says it wasn't like the person said, I'm going to go out and kill somebody,
exactly.
right? Or like, I'm doing something stupid and I know that somebody could die, but I don't think much of it. That would be like manslaughter because, like you kind of know. But
Right.
here it's kind of like you're doing something and you should have had this, what did they say? Substantial and unjustifiable risk of death. So here they are on a greater charge. Some people want to convict them and some people don't. So now they're deliberating on this lesser charge. What happened?
So I thought when they were deadlocked for the greater charge, the people that were going to convict him of the greater charge would be likely to convict him of a less serious charge. And the jury unanimously acquitted him.
And not just that, in about 2 hours, they
Yeah.
spent 5 days fighting over the other charge, and then they acquitted him on the lesser charge.
So it really goes to show you never know what's going to happen once it gets into the hands of the jury. That's why
Yeah,
people want a jury of their peers to hear their cases.
yeah, and it was definitely good lawyering on part of Penny's lawyers. It's a sucky situation all around. It
Right.
truly is.
Right.
Nobody wishes that he had died. It was a really stinky, awful situation all around. I've been on the trains, you've been on the trains, and it's a little scary when somebody who is over exuberant or whatever you want to call it comes on the train. And in this situation, it seemed to be even worse, especially when you see the videos and stuff like that. There was some woman, they showed the video of her like she had just gotten off the train and they interviewed her and she was talking about how scared she was for her life.
Right.
So there's still the possibility that the family will sue in civil,
I'm sure they will.
and it's not unlikely. They could potentially win because um, there are a lot of other cases out there where crime or criminal actions have never gone through, but negligence in civil has gone through.
O.J. Simpson.
So O.J. Simpson, our past and future president, and thousands of others who have gone through situations like that. So it'll be interesting because I don't know if Penny has any real money to his name, but I think that post this acquittal, I'm sure there will be a book deal or some other situation going on.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so really interesting. But I think it goes to show you that this is a podcast about life, law, and other stuff.
Mm.
And unfortunately, shit goes down, and you just never know. I mean, it reminds me of somebody I knew one time where there was like an older couple in a movie line in Florida, and another couple in front of them, and two of the guys got into kind of like a shoving match, arguing about something stupid, and one guy fell down, struck his head on the sidewalk, cracked his skull, ended up dying, and the other guy got prosecuted and spent time in jail.
Wow.
And that's just like, you just think like, oh, it's stupid. Oh, get out of my face.
Right.
And
Right. And it turns into something more serious.
that is pretty wild stuff. And speaking of wild stuff,
Yes.
so
More interesting topics to get to today.
yeah, so I'm always on the lookout for interesting stories and things like that. So here's another one that definitely could tie into potential like negligence in terms of lawsuits, like traffic accidents and stuff. I don't know if you saw this, Noah, but there was an article, I think it was in the Post. There was an article where a New York City traffic light in Tribeca on Lispenard Street, outside the Nancy Whiskey Pub in 6th Avenue and Lispenard Street, was installed upside down
Wow.
since May. Since May.
And nobody noticed?
So there's this picture. Like, I'm looking at the picture right now. So you have this traffic light, and one side that's stopping traffic one way, it's red at the top, and then the other traffic light is upside down and it's red at the bottom. What? I mean, think about that. And not only that is I interviewed one guy. He goes, "That's really dumb." It is, and you would think, right? This isn't like they installed a stop sign that was like 2 feet too short or something like that, right? You install a traffic light upside down. Go fix it.
I know.
And it's been 7 months.
I wonder if any accidents were caused in that area because of it.
Let me see what it says here. New York City Department of Transportation spokesperson did not provide any specifics on when the light was installed or by whom, but it was finally fixed after the Post inquired about it. So like, think about that. Like, what would happen if we're so used to red, yellow, green, top to bottom,
Right.
right? So what happens is, if it's flipped, even though the color is correct, you like blow through the light because you just like your senses just don't properly sense it, right? Because you're used to seeing the red at the top. So you see a light at the top that's not red, and you go through it, and now you cause an accident.
Well,
what do you think as an attorney?
I think, well, it would go to comparative negligence because there would be some negligence on the driver that went through the red light because the light was red. However, I think you also would have a valid claim against the municipality because they installed this light the wrong way and helped cause or had some part in causing the accident. Like, we get a lot of cases, these blind spot cases where people pull up to a stop sign and they can't see left or right because the trees are overgrown or there's huge hedges that are blocking the view that were supposed to be maintained by the municipality. And sometimes we'll sue the municipality to say that they, affected the line of sight and should have trimmed those hedges.
Yeah, and even though this isn't quite the line of sight, I think you'd have a pretty good argument because there really is a psychological component to. We're trained like Pavlov's dog, right? We know red top, stop.
Right.
Not red bottom stop. Doesn't
Right.
even rhyme.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that was one interesting recent case, and then the other one is a little more fun. I'm not quite sure about the. I wouldn't be quite sure about the liabilities here, since
It's
you're
just
choosing.
it's just a fun topic.
So this is the title of the article: "The World's Most Dangerous Pizza, Cooked on an Active Volcano." So, as a tourist in Guatemala, you can get a deep crust delight cooked on the slopes of Pacayo. I guess that's a active
Wow.
volcano.
I've
I don't
always
know.
wanted to visit a volcano.
I always wanted to like go visit volcanoes, Hawaii or wherever, but it's a little scary.
Yeah, especially an active one.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's like chemicals and crap that like come up from that. Like I don't know if I really want to necessarily eat a pizza cooked on the mountain
No,
or the volcano.
not that safe all
Yeah, so just kind of be careful out there. I don't know if you'd have any. That one might be an assumption of risk, and
around. Oh,
you'd
most
be you'd be out of luck to bring any type of lawsuit if you got hurt.
I know. Speaking of assumption of risk, hopefully we get some snow soon because I want to get some skiing days in.
Yeah, well, I heard I ran into a buddy of mine, and I heard that I think Killington got 8 or 9 inches
Wow.
this past week, and then I know we're having a huge storm here this upcoming week. It's going to be rain down here, but I think it's going to be snowing up north.
All right. Well, hopefully I'm trying to go on the first day of Hanukkah to ski.
Oh, that's always a good day to go, especially since it's Christmas Day, and hopefully the slopes will be quiet.
No, the day after Christmas.
A day after Christmas. Okay. Even so, it should still be good.
Hopefully. Well, I
Yeah.
figured that weekend in between New Year's and Christmas is going to be the busiest time to ski. So I was going to try to go that Thursday before to avoid some some crowds. I'm sure
All
we'll
right.
still.
Well, your skis are here and waiting for you in the garage.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I had them in here. Okay.
No, your
Well,
skis are here, and I actually like hung your boots up in a nice area, so you're all set.
thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. I didn't tune them up, but you can take care of that yourself.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So if you're also for people, if you're going to be in New York City in Grand Central, um, they have a really cool model train exhibit. There's a branch of the Transit Authority's museum right in Grand Central, and they have a really cool model train exhibit. So it's just something fun to do. And if you also get to the Botanical Gardens in the Bronx, they also have a really cool model train exhibit through all the made out of all the plants and stuff like that.
Nice. I
Really
love
cool.
those model train, Christmas villages, all that stuff. That's
Yeah, we used to take you guys to all that stuff. A lot of fun.
yeah, definitely is.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Anything else going on other than it's another football weekend?
Another football weekend. Eagles play at 4, and I have 12% of my computer battery left.
Okay, well, we're coming down to the end of
I'll jump
end of
in.
this episode, and thank everybody for all their wonderful comments and support that everybody provides. And if you have any topics or interesting stories, Noah and I are always happy to take a deeper dive and try to figure some stuff out because this is about life, the law, and other shit.
Yep. Other stuff. We made it more appropriate for all the viewing audience.
Oh my God, you kids these days. Anyway, I am dad and lawyer Brian Mittman, and you can follow me at the Disability Guys on all social media platforms except for that butterfly one or something. I haven't paid attention to that one, whatever
Not
that new
sure.
one is.
Not sure what that is. So I don't
Blue butterfly. I don't know. It's trying to be another X Twitter thingy.
think. All
Who
right.
knows?
See what happens. I'm Noah Mittman, son and a lawyer, and you could follow me at Noah Lawyer.
Excellent. And I do know a lawyer. And if we don't speak before the holidays, have a wonderful, very Merry Christmas, a happy and healthy New Year, a wonderful Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else you celebrate. Have an
Yes.
awesome time.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take care. Bye bye.